Welcome to the Podcast with Purpose.
Hey, welcome back to the Podcast with Purpose. My name is Nate Link. I am joined today with Leanne Allen, Assistant to the President and CEO, a key member of our Human Resources team. And today we're here to talk about the Healthy Foundations Wellness Program. Leanne, thanks for stopping in and talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, wellness, we talking about going to the doctor? What do we mean by wellness?
So, yes, part of it is going to the doctor. But when Human Technologies created this program several years ago, it was meant to be well-rounded and have a variety of activities for people to participate in. So we cover several dimensions of wellness. It includes community, mental health, physical health, exercise, nutrition, financial, and environmental.
Those are all great things to think about, and I think all of us should be paying attention to those things on a daily basis. It's almost like you wish you had an incentive to do that. You know what I mean?
I do. And guess what?
What?
There is an incentive.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, so we have a point system. So if you go to our website, you download the checklist for the wellness program. It has a long list of items, and there's points associated with those. Let's call them activities. So, Nate, do you go to your doctor every year for your annual physical?
I do.
You get a blood screen with that?
I do, and I make it around this time of the year because I want to get my flu shot while I'm there.
Perfect. Okay, so the doctor visit with blood screen, a flu shot. Each of those by themselves are 500 points. So add that together, you're at 1,000 points. Provide proof to us that you've done that. We don't want any results, just want to know that you went and had that done. Right there, you're going to get $50 just for having 1,000 points.
By doing something I'm already doing, all I have to do is further check off a list and make sure I hand it in, and I'm going to get $50?
Yeah, so check that off the list, sign the list, turn in a receipt from your doctor showing that you had a flu shot, your physical with blood screen, and that's $50. So it's something you're already doing. So let me ask you this. Are you a non-smoker?
I am.
500 points. You're up to 1,500 points. The next level after 1,000 is 2,000 points. So at 2,000 points, you'd get $75.
Wow.
So you'd have to have one other, either 500-point level. We also have a 250-point level. So in the 250-point level, we do fun activity challenges that are competitive, team-based challenges. So you could do whatever you're doing at home for exercise, raking the leaves, doing your gardening. That counts as part of that activity challenge. They're usually about 3 weeks long. Track that activity for 3 weeks, participate in the challenge, you get 250 points. If you're a team leader in the challenge, you get another 250. There's your 2,000 points.
You probably have some good payouts going out at the end of the year.
We do. So we had a couple people reach the $200 level, which is 4,500 points or more. And, I mean, they're doing a lot on that checklist.
Yeah.
We paid out over $4,000 last year.
No kidding.
To 48 people.
Yeah.
So not individually, but each, some people got 50, some people got
Yep.
75.
Yep.
But I'm hoping we can up that this year and we pay out even more.
So anyone who's listening and watching, I hope that, would you say 40 people?
48 people.
48. So, and we're roughly over 350 employees. That's a lot of people who are probably doing the majority of what's on that checklist every day and just kind of leaving money on the table, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have health insurance, your annual physical blood screen is covered by insurance. You don't pay anything to do that. And it's a preventive health screening. So if you go see your doctor, a lot of times you might catch something or kind of become aware of a health issue happening and take care of it prior to it getting worse, right? So I highly encourage everyone to go do that. So right there, again, every year, and it starts annually. So every year in January, you can start over. So you could get your $50 just for your two things every year.
So for anyone listening, I'm going to put the direct link to that checklist in the show notes, because it is important that, first of all, it's important to take care of yourself, physically, financially, mentally.
Absolutely.
But get some money at the same time for doing it.
If you're already
That's a great
doing
incentive.
it, why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? And if you know what, and there may be a few things you're on the fence about, do them and get the few extra dollars there.
Yeah.
Now the checklist, once I fill it out, what do I do with it?
Okay, so you get the checklist. We take the checklist at the end of the year. So you have the first week of January to get everything in order and turn it in. Mm-hmm. You can turn it in at any point in time, but generally a checklist is at the end of the year, because you got to check off what you've done, and then you sign a date certifying that you've done those things. And then you can turn in receipts anytime throughout the year. We can keep track of those for you. And again, no results. We don't need your printout of your health record from your doctor.
Yes.
But things that work are usually your doctor gives you a receipt that says you showed your copay, or you paid your copay, or what you had done. Or you might get an explanation of benefits from your insurance company that would also say on there what it was that you had at your doctor's office. So turn that stuff into us, and that's what the proof is. So we need that checklist, and we need that proof, and it's as easy as that. And you turn that in either to myself or Christine Saporito in our HR department.
Beautiful. And all that information should be on the list. I like the fact, and I'm appreciative of the fact, that I don't have to get everything together and give it to you all at once and kind of nest it, so to speak. So I can go to my doctor. My doctor, the doctor I use, it's called My Chart. You just go online, it has all your health information, but it also gives you a receipt of visit for that day. So I can go in there, get that, send it over to you when I get back from the doctor, and I'm all set. All I got to do is turn that checklist.
I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Because I know for myself, if I don't do it right then, I'm going to forget about it. So when I go to the doctor, I bring that right in the office, make a copy of it, make sure it's on file. The other thing I will say is that online on our website, we've got certification forms that we've created. So if you're just not sure and you want to bring those to your doctor, I've had my doctors fill those out. They're pretty familiar. They've seen this before from other companies as well. So they understand, oh, you have a wellness program. Okay, I'll fill this paper out for you. And then you just turn that in as well. So we've given you lots of options of how to provide proof, because we don't want to limit it. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to participate.
Yeah, you can tell that a lot of time has went into this, and it doesn't get easier than that, to be honest with you. We have a lot of breaks to educate, a lot of awareness days. Are those tied into the wellness program as well?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So on top of those things that you're doing on your own, going to your doctor, taking care of yourself, we also have company programs that we put together. So yes, breaks to educate. We've come up with that terminology. It's a lunch and learn, but we don't always do it at lunchtime. So we call it break to educate. And we recently just had one. We partner with NBT Bank. They have their NBT at work, and they do all of our financial wellness. And they do an excellent job. Our last one, the presenter just was so knowledgeable. I walked away with with information that I never would have known if I didn't participate in that. So those are generally an hour. They are over Zoom, and also we offer it in person. And you just sign on and watch the webinar, and that one's easy. You get 100 points for participating. And you can do up to 4 of those a year. We have a limit to 400 points for that category. And then we have awareness days. We do those monthly. Super simple. This is going to take you 5 minutes, right? So the most recent one we had was shingles article. Information about shingles. Read the article. And then we had a quiz, 4-question quiz. Not difficult. We don't try to make it tricky. Just to show that you were paying attention and did actually read the information, because we're trying to educate you. So that's a 25 point. So you can do up to 10 of those a year. So we do one every month. So you got 12 opportunities, but if you do 10 of them, you get 250 points total for the year. And again, super easy. They're on our website. I put them up there as soon as we post them. So even if you were hired yesterday and you want to do our awareness days and get some points, you can go back to January. It's online. I don't care when you do it, as long as you're doing it and learning something.
Yeah. So what an opportunity. So anyone who is new to the company and is listening to this, go back in time. This may be the only opportunity you have to go back in time in your life and get those filled out and get those done. So we talked about wellness. We talked about breaks to educate. We talked about the point system. We talked about, so some of the speakers, like you said, in the breaks to educate, the last one, MBT, I found that I would say I'm mildly astute when it comes to my finances. To your point, there was things I never knew that I walked away with that I was just like, wow, I'm so glad that I took the time to sit down and get involved in this. It was well worth it. So with all this said, you've made everything completely easy for people to do. There's really no reason not to do this. Again, you're bettering yourself. There's an incentive in it. I want to ask you a question. How do you find the time to do all this by yourself? How do you do this?
Well, Nate, I'm not alone.
Okay.
I have a team of people that are helping me do that.
All right, good. That makes more sense. I feel better about myself.
Yeah. So we have a wellness team.
Okay.
And it's made up of people from all of our areas of business. So we have environmental services people, we've got manufacturing, our distribution center, office staff. So we're always looking for new members. So if somebody's interested in joining, just reach out to me and we can talk about the commitment. It's once a month for an hour that we meet. And then, sometimes we have some homework in between based on what we're doing. But it's great to get new people and new ideas because that's how we keep it fun and exciting. And that's what we want. We don't want it to become a stale kind of nobody, we want people to participate.
Yes.
So looking for new members, happy to have more people join. We can talk about that if you're interested. So definitely not alone. It takes a team of people to make this happen.
Now, for anyone who is interested in joining, you don't have to be in the Mohawk Valley, Utica area. You can be anywhere, correct?
You can be anywhere. We offer Zoom.
Yep.
So we have 2 or 3 people generally signing on by Zoom.
It's a great thing that the team is doing. We're very fortunate, I would think, as employees to have this program.
I think we are, and we have the support of the leadership team, which is really important, right? Yeah. So they're committed to the health of our employees, and so they're allowing our employees to be on the wellness team. They're allowing them to participate in these activities, like an hour break to educate, take time away from work, to participate in that. So having that support from the top down is really important to how this is continued on. And I think it's really cool to be part of the team when you get to see something you've been planning and the outcome of that. And then, you get feedback from people and that, sometimes we've heard from people say, I went to the doctor and I didn't know that I was pre-diabetic and now I know and I'm taking care of it. So it's good to be a part of that and be able to see all that happen.
So I was going to ask you this as well. I know this ties into some team events too. We do all different walks, different events, community involved events.
Yeah, and I think that's what's great about the team-based activity challenges. So I myself, I try to be pretty active as much as I can be. But, we all need a little encouragement here and there.
Yes.
So being on a team and then, you feel like I got to support this group that I'm on. So this week I'm going to try to do a little bit more. Or, I get home, I'm tired. I'm like, oh, I better go do a little walk so that I don't have 0 for today, So I think having that encouragement from the others and kind of that motivation of being on that challenge really kind of helps. And then, it's 3 weeks and hopefully you can maintain that. So I do want to talk a little bit about upcoming events too.
Please do.
If we can. So you mentioned walks. So we do have a team for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk.
Okay.
Which is, there's walks across New York State. We're going to be doing the Utica Walk. If anyone wants to do any of the others, they're more than welcome to do that. So we create a team. We get apparel, some kind of shirt or a hat, maybe a scarf. We'll see what we do this year. That's October 23rd. So we're going to be having some team meetings. September 15th is our team meeting. If you do that, you get 100 points for being on the team and doing the walk towards wellness. So that's pretty cool. We also have a new thing we're starting, Wellness Wednesday. So September 14th is our first Wellness Wednesday, kind of bring awareness once a month to Wednesday or wellness. It's going to be called a switcheroo race. So okay. I'll let that.
Switcheroo race.
We'll just, yes, it'll be kind of a surprise on what
you heard it here first.
That's going to be counting as an awareness day. So everyone will kind of gather at the same time, and we'll do that. Be about 10 minutes of time. We have a break to educate in October. Hannaford, we partner with them for nutrition. They have dietitians on staff, and they come out and they'll do. So she's going to do Cozy Fall Cooking on a Budget. That's October 5th at 1:30. She's going to come in person. You could also sign on by Zoom. She's going to bring some tasty treats. So it should be a good one to come and be in person if you're able to. And then we're going to do a breast cancer education break to educate in October around, breast cancer awareness is October month. So those are going to be both 100 points towards wellness. So we've got lots of stuff going on. Last thing I want to mention is we are going to have another team-based activity challenge this fall. So participate in that and get some points, 250. Team leader, 250. So you get 500 just for doing that if you do team leader and be a member. So those are the events that we have currently planned. And then there may be some more before the end of the year.
So all sounds great. It's like as you're talking, you're saying all these points, I see dollar signs kind of flashing
right.
over my head. But in all seriousness, I mean, it's extremely important to really keep your wellness in check. Your personal health, your mental health, financially sound. Make sure you're getting towards retirement. Keeping track of your finances, all of that stuff. So we hope to see everyone switcherooing and getting their checklists knocked out and get them over to you. I am again very, very thankful we have this program at work, and I'm thankful for you and the team for putting all this stuff together and again making it so easy for us to do it. I can't stress enough how easy this is to get everything in. Yeah,
and don't leave the money on the table.
No.
If you've done some of those things already this year.
Yes.
Even if you're like, I just want the 1,000 points so I can get the $50.
Yeah.
Fine, that's great. I think don't leave money on the table.
No, it's $50. So Leanne, thank you very much for joining us today. We look forward to everything coming up. And again, I'm going to put the link to the checklist in the show notes. And if you're watching this, it'll also flash across the screen. And that's about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Leanne and the team, and they'll get those answered for you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Nate.
Excellent.